State Border Guard Service of Ukraine. State Border Guard Service of Ukraine, Ukrainian, Державна Прикордонна Служба України, Державна Прикордонна Служба України, abbr, DPSU or SBGS, is the border guard of Ukraine. It is an independent law enforcement agency of special assignment, the head of which is subordinated to the President of Ukraine. The service was created on July 31, 2003 after the reorganization of the State Committee in Affairs for Protection, the state border. During wartime, units of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine fall under the command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The State Border Guard Service of Ukraine includes the Ukrainian Sea Guard, the country's coast guard. It is also responsible for running temporary detention centers in which refugees are held. Structure. Components: SIS, Ground Forces, Sea Guard, Aerial Support. Directors, Commanders of Border Guard Service, Border Troops. 2019 Present Serhiy Dayniko. 2017-2019 Petro Psychical. 2014-2017 Viktor Nazarenko. 2001-2014 Mykola Litvin. 1999-2001 Boris Oleksienko. 1994-1999 Viktor Banik. 1991-1994 Valeria Hubenko. Units. Main Administrations: West Region, Lviv, Lviv Border Detachment, Mostiska Border Detachment, Myukashev Border Detachment, Shop Border Detachment, Chernivtsi Border Detachment, Clinic Hospital Lviv, Canine Training Center Veliki Mosti, North Region Zhytomyr, Chernihiv Border Detachment, Zhytomyr Border Detachment, Lutsk Border Detachment, East Region Kharkiv, Luhansk Border Detachment, Donetsk Border Detachment, Kharkiv Border Detachment, Sumy Border Detachment, Kharkiv Separate Aviation Squadron, Mariupol Sea Guard Detachment created in response to fears of Russian aggression in 2014, South Region Odessa, Odessa Border Detachment, Khatovsk Border Detachment, Mohilev-Podilsky Border Detachment, Belhorod-Dnistrovsky Border Detachment, Izmail Border Detachment, Odessa Sea Guard Detachment, Odessa Separate Aviation Squadron, Izmail Training Detachment of Sea Guard, Clinic Hospital Odessa. Azov Black Sea Region Simferopol, reorganized due to the 2014 Russian annexation of Crimea. Simferopol Border Detachment moved to Kherson. Berdyansk Border Detachment. Kerch Sea Guard Detachment moved to Mariupol. Yalta Sea Guard Detachment disbanded. Sevastopol Sea Guard Detachment moved to Odessa. Separate Controlled Border Checkpoint Kiev. 10th Mobile Border Detachment. Supporting Institutions. Separate Guard and Support Command. Main Center of Communication, Automatization, and Information Protection. Information Agency. Main Center of Supporting Development Programs. Main Forensic Center. State Archives. Training Center. Science Research Institute. K.H. Chmelnytsky National Academy. Central Museum. Central Hospital. Clinical Sanatoriums Prikordonic, Arcadia. Children Health Center Pribrizhny. Center of Health and Recreation Pishchain. Academic Ensemble of Song and Dance. Sports Committee. Temporary Detention Centers. Kavchino Military Unit 2142. History. Ukrainian border guards are the national successors of the Soviet border troops. They were formed from the approximately 17,000 border troops located in Ukraine in 1991. The organization was first titled the Ukrainian Border Troops, which was later subordinated to the Ukraine's State Committee for State Border Guarding. From 1991 to at least 1993, the new borders with Russia and Belarus were not guarded. The border troops were only deployed along the western borders minus Moldova and on the Black Sea. Another 9,000 personnel were added to the border troops at the expense of the armed forces of Ukraine, and by the end of 1993, border posts were established in the north along the Russian and Belarusian borders. In 1999, the authorized strength of the force was again increased to 50,000. In 2003, new legislation was adopted, and this somewhat changed the legal status of the institution. In March 2003, the border troops became the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine, and its status was legally changed from military formation to special law enforcement body. The force was legally granted 50,000 personnel, including 8,000 civilian employees. On 4 July 2012, a State Border Guard Service Diamond DO-42 aircraft failed to make its scheduled radio contact with ground units. A search and rescue mission revealed that the plane had crashed into a wooded mountainous area in Veliki Berezhny Rayon, killing all 3 crew members on board. A further investigation was launched. During the war in Donbas on August 31, 2014, 2 Sea Guard Juk-class patrol boats were struck by land-based artillery. Military ranks: uniform, form, long service medal. Equipment: